So right now, teenagers who have never even owned a record player are spending hundreds of dollars a month on vinyl records.
Yeah, and they can't play them, like, at all.
Right. They have absolutely no intention of ever playing them. So, I mean, why are they buying them?
Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. Today we are looking at the incredibly weird, completely fascinating relationship between the newest generations, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and the world of music.
It is a wild paradox because, we've always assumed that these digital natives, the kids born with smartphones in their hands,
Yeah.
would just completely surrender to a digital existence.
Exactly. But they aren't. And to figure out why, we've got a massive stack of sources today. We are pulling from Spotify's insights on audio healing, some deep marketing reports on Gen Z and Alpha behaviors, global market data on vinyl sales, a list of rising artists for 2025 and 2026, and a breakdown of the Thai music industry's global push.
Which is a lot to cover, but it all points to this one core thing. The most connected, tech-savvy generation in history is actively rejecting AI-generated music, while simultaneously buying heavy plastic discs they literally don't have the equipment to use. It's wild.
Yeah.
But to unpack this, we can't really just look at the music.
No, you have to look at the listener. Specifically, you have to look at their anxiety.
Yes, the anxiety. So let's start there. The secret sauce recently synthesized these global Deloitte surveys, and the baseline stress for millennials and Gen Z is it's incredibly high.
Oh, totally. Over half of them report living paycheck to paycheck.
Right. They're squeezed by the cost of living, they're terrified of climate change, and they are fighting these intense, exhausting battles for work-life boundaries because they are already burnt out.
And when you're operating under that kind of chronic stress, your media consumption changes. Passive entertainment basically stops existing.
Meaning everything you consume has to have a job, right?
Exactly. It serves a functional purpose. And we see this super clearly in the Spotify data. Music isn't just background noise anymore. It is a highly functional tool for psychological survival.
Which perfectly lines up with the wellness economy booming. I mean, in Thailand alone, the health and wellness market grew by over 28% in just 2 years. It's worth over $40 billion now.
Wow, 40 billion.
Yeah, and a huge chunk of that is auditory wellness. The Spotify insights actually show that 60% of millennials and 42% of Gen Z in Thailand use music and podcasts specifically to heal, like deliberately to manage their mental health.
That makes total sense, especially when you pair it with that everyday marketing report. They highlighted this trend called consume publicly, comment privately.
Right, because public social media has just gotten too toxic.
Exactly. People are stepping back from public debate. There's been a 10% drop in public commenting. But, and this is the key part, they still have this profound psychological need to be seen by their friends.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this is where the music comes in. Think about the last time you, the listener, shared a Spotify link on your Instagram story.
Oh yeah, it's never just about the beat.
Never. You're usually hoping a very specific person will read those exact lyrics. Sharing that lyric is like hanging a digital do not disturb sign on your bedroom door. Or actually more like a hug needed sign.
That is a perfect analogy. It's proxy vulnerability.
Right. It's public content, but it's really a deeply private cry for connection. You're hoping someone who speaks your emotional language sees it so you don't actually have to articulate the mess inside your head.
And that proxy vulnerability is exactly why the music has to be real. If you're using a song to communicate your own authentic pain, the song itself can't be synthetic.
Well, wait, I have to challenge that premise.
Yeah.
Because these kids, they're what the market reports call digital ninjas.
Sure, they live on TikTok.
Right, which is entirely algorithmically curated. They use ChatGPT for their homework. They make incredibly complex music in their bedrooms using GarageBand and FL Studio, learning from YouTube.
They are super comfortable with synthetic tools.
Exactly. So if they are this pragmatic, why draw a hard line at AI-generated music? I mean, if OpenAI drops a mathematically perfect pop track tomorrow, wouldn't they just eat it up?
You would think so, but the data says the exact opposite. There's this report from Spring News that tracked consumer sentiment toward AI music over a 6-month period.
And what did it find?
Despite them being early adopters of literally every other tech, net interest in AI music didn't just stall. It plummeted from -6% to -16%.
Wait, a 10-point drop?
Yeah.
Into the negative?
Yeah, they are aggressively turning against it. And the case study of Sandy Monet really illustrates why.
Because Annie Monet, the AI artist, right?
Right. So when she debuted, the novelty factor was huge. She hit 7 million weekly streams. Technically, the music sounded perfect.
But it didn't last.
No, within months it crashed to under 3 million and it kept dropping. Because AI lacks a soul. It can mimic the structure of a heartbreak anthem perfectly, but it hasn't actually had its heart broken.
It doesn't have financial anxiety.
Exactly. So if a Gen Z listener is using that song as a hug-needed sign, it only works if another real human being felt that exact same pain. You can't build a real long-term parasocial relationship with a server farm.
Which is so ironic, because Gen Y, the millennials, are actually the most accepting of AI music. Boomers hate it for purist reasons, but Gen Z rejects it because it lacks the authenticity they need for their own emotional regulation.
Yeah, AI music is just an emotional, uncanny valley for them, so we have to look at what they're actively seeking out instead.
Which brings us to the Daily News Rising Stars 2025 to 2026 list. This gives us a really clear picture of what's working. Look at an artist like Sienna Spiro.
Oh, she's amazing.
Right. 20-year-old from London. Her music is incredibly raw. Like her track, Die on This Hill, it starts quiet and just escalates until her vocals feel strained and flawed. It's so undeniably human.
And then you have bands like Almost Monday, this indie pop trio bringing back that very specific 90s and 2000s surf rock energy. Real instruments, upbeat, positive escapism.
And we can't forget a 22-year-old artist who is pioneering this micro-genre that fans literally call cozy pop.
What's fascinating here is the terminology fans use. When they talk about his tracks, like the song Eggs in the Morning, they don't talk about the beat or the production.
Right, they say it feels like wearing a warm cardigan by a fireplace.
Exactly. A tactile, physical description for a digital file. And psychologically, it makes perfect sense. The world feels economically hostile and environmentally scary. Cozy pop provides acoustic safety.
Acoustic safety, I like that.
Yeah, the tempo is predictable. The instruments sound like they are in the room with you. It's the ultimate antidote to digital fatigue.
And digital fatigue is actually the perfect segue here, because this craving for physical safety doesn't stop at the sound of the music.
Yeah.
It is radically altering the physical economy of the industry.
Oh, the vinyl paradox.
Yes, let's look at the wild stats from the Marketeer report. Vinyl sales are growing by 18% annually, and the buyers aren't nostalgic Gen Xers.
No, Gen Z makes up 40% of all vinyl buyers.
40%. But again, many of them don't own a record player. So let's go back to our hook. Why?
Because of that digital fatigue. If you spend 12 hours a day staring at a screen, your whole life, your friends, your school, your entertainment is just pixels on a server. You can't touch it. They are fundamentally starved for physical artifacts.
So the vinyl record becomes a physical anchor. It's decor, but it's also identity. Streaming is renting, but buying a record proves you are a superfan.
And the anecdotes from the sources highlight this perfectly. Like Dexter Fung, a 25-year-old content creator. He buys Taylor Swift's Red album specifically to use as autumn room decor because the colors match the season.
He literally treats it as visual art.
And the industry knows this. Taylor Swift designed the Midnight's vinyl variants, so the back covers actually form a working clock when you put them on the wall. It is brilliant product design.
It's genius. And it's not just pop. Tony Baker, a 27-year-old buyer, dropped $100 on a classic Toni Braxton album just to physically secure it, saying he'd figure out his budget later.
Right. It's about hoarding physical evidence of your taste. But there's also an eco-conscious side to this collecting.
Oh, like Peyton Davila, who hunts for used records.
Exactly. This ties right back to their climate anxiety. They view buying used vinyl the same way they view thrifting clothes. Making new vinyl requires toxic PVC plastic. By buying vintage, they prevent overpressing by record labels.
So they get their physical artifact while sticking to their environmental values. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Is vinyl even an audio format anymore? Or has it just become the modern equivalent of a band t-shirt?
It's a purely visual aesthetic used to declare an identity. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the financial gravity of this shift is staggering.
Right, because they aren't just fans, they are a massive economic force.
Huge. Gen Alpha alone is projected to command $5.46 trillion in economic power by 2029.
5.46 trillion. That is insane.
And they are already the household gatekeepers. Children aged 8 to 11 are making 35% of toy decisions and 27% of household food choices.
Wait, how does an 8-year-old dictate a third of the grocery budget?
Digital exposure. They see a Korean snack or a specific drink on TikTok and they pressure their parents to buy it. And this economic power, plus their digital fluidity, means borders in the music industry are completely disappearing.
We see this locally in the Post Today report. The Thai music market is now worth 3.57 billion baht. It's the 29th largest in the world.
Because these new generations have a fluidity of interest. They don't care where a song comes from. If the algorithm serves it and it feels authentic, they adopt it. Language barriers just don't matter anymore.
So the Thai industry is capitalizing on this. Tell me about the CEA's Music Exchange 2026 program.
Right. So the Creative Economy Agency is using these really smart push age and pool strategies. The push age strategy is essentially sending 22 top Thai artists.
Like Millie, Tilly Birds, the boy group BUS.
Yeah, exactly. Sending them to over 20 major international music festivals across the US, Europe, and Asia. They are physically exporting the culture to where these globally fluid listeners already are.
Okay, so that's the PUH. What's the PO strategy?
The PEAL strategy is bringing international booking agents and festival organizers into Thailand to events like the Big Mountain Music Festival.
Ah, so they want the global agents to see the scale of the Thai market and sign these artists.
Exactly. Which brings us to the ultimate physical anchor, live music. Because if vinyl combats digital fatigue in the bedroom, a live concert is the macro version of that escape.
Right. Standing in a muddy field with 70,000 other people, feeling the bass in your chest. You cannot simulate that.
And music tourism is booming because of it. People are crossing borders just for festivals. Asia actually holds a 21.8% global market share in this industry now. It's the one non-negotiable physical outlet for digital natives.
Because it's messy, communal, and undeniably human. Which really sums up this whole journey. These profound anxieties have turned music into a mental health tool. It made them reject soulless AI, embrace cozy, authentic artists, and spend billions on physical vinyls and live festivals.
They are reshaping the global economy just by trying to find physical safe spaces in a digital world.
So, to you listening, think about your own habits for a second. How much of the media you consume is just for pure entertainment? And how much is secretly a tool to heal or to declare your identity to the world?
And I'll leave you with this to ponder. If these digital natives are spending their money on vinyl and live concerts to escape digital fatigue, what happens when tech companies try to digitize those last physical spaces?
Oh, like augmented reality festivals or spatial computing?
Exactly, a phygital future. Will Gen Z and Gen Alpha embrace that mixed reality, or will they completely rebel against it to protect the human soul of music?
That is the trillion-dollar question. Because when the screens finally turn off, that heavy plastic record on your wall might be the only anchor to reality you have.